Senator Michelle Simmons, Vice President of the Senate, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I just cannot let this opportunity pass me by. I would like to share a short story this morning, which I hope you, Madam President, my fellow senators, and the listening audience will find interesting. I'm going back to Monday, October 6th, 1879, when a group of 6 gentlemen met in what was described as the new building known as Wantley. It belonged to Samuel David Robinson on Princess Street in Hamilton. They gathered to discuss the establishment of a secondary school which would be racially mixed. Of course, one of the key goals was to provide for the education of Black students, since the schools established by the legislature excluded them from getting a secondary education. A second meeting was held 3 days later on October 9th, when the original 6 men were joined by 5 others. So altogether, there were 11 men. They're described as being colored. These 2 meetings led to the founding of the Berkeley Educational Society, which is still in existence today and is still committed to the same goals. For the record, and I think it's important for all of us to hear the names. May I read them, Madam President?
Certainly may. Senator Simmons.
You'll hear connections to Bermuda of today. First, Joseph Henry Thomas, Richard Henry Durden, William Henry Thomas Joel, Samuel David Robinson, Eugenius Charles Jackson, Charles William Thomas Smith, William Orlando Boscombe, John Henry T. Jackson, Samuel Parker Sr., and Samuel Parker Jr. And the last of the 11 was Henry T. Dyer. Madam President, these men had a vision. They also had the determination to press ahead, recognizing the importance of providing for the better education of the people. And I emphasize, even when the legislature, which governed all of Bermuda, did not possess a similar view or desire. Rather than wait for government to provide secondary education for all its citizens, these 11 men moved forward with their own plans. But how long did it take them? Astoundingly, after 18 years of fundraising and having meetings up and down the island in all of Bermuda's parishes, the Berkeley Institute, both elementary and high school or secondary school, was opened on the ground floor of Samaritan's Hall on Court Street, Hamilton. The date, and every Berkeleyite knows this date, September 6th, 1897, 18 years after that first meeting, in Samuel David Robinson's home, Wantley, on Princess Street in Hamilton. At that time, the Berkeley Institute was a private school and parents had to pay a fee. Since then, the Berkeley has produced leading scholars in Bermuda who have been involved in all aspects of life, here and overseas. Of course, I don't have enough time to name all of those wonderful Berkeleyites who've been contributing to Bermuda over the years. But the school has been in existence for almost 124 years, making a significant contribution to Bermuda. History and historical artifacts, Madam President, are important because we learn from them how past societies, past systems, past ideologies, past governments, cultures, technologies were built. We learn about how they operated. We learn about how they've changed over the years. This is important because it gives us a window into our collective past. I'm not just talking about Berkeley's past. This is Bermuda's past. It is our community's history, its legacy. So that building on Princess Street, Wantley, connects us with our past. It is not just a building to be demolished. It adds perspective to the Berkeley story, the Bermuda story, and all of us, whether we attended the Berkeley Institute or another school in Bermuda. And therefore, by restoring Wantley to its previous condition, all of us can get to experience this. We can all experience what our legacy looked like then. Are we going to allow Wantley to be demolished? After 13 years of neglect by respective governments, Berkeleyites, and other members of the Bermuda community who believe in the preservation of our history, our culture, our heritage, we must step forward and do our part. The legacy of the Berkeley Institute has been passed down from the founders, including Samuel David Robinson, to successive generations of Berkeleyites. And even though I'm not going to sing it to you today, I'm going to remind you of just the second verse of the Berkeley Institute School song. And it begins, Senator Darrell will know, we are the men of the years to come. We are the women of the future. What will become of our island home without our nurture? For we have the brain and the brawn and the blood of those who handed us the torch of life. And we pray that we'll aspire, emulate our worthy sires, and be heroes in the strife. So I am calling on all of our heroes to step forward and let's do our part to save Wantley. It's not just a building. That's our legacy. That's our heritage. That's our history. Madam President, as you can tell, I feel strongly about it, and I'm prepared to do my part. So I hope that there are others out there who are listening, who are also prepared to take a role in saving that building. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Senator Michelle Simmons.